what did the keto diet do for me? How did it help, or did it help? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 4 things that the keto diet has definitely helped me with. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Brenda, and I do live a keto lifestyle and have been living keto on and off for the last 3 or 4 years. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I started the keto diet in 2019 and I stayed on it for about a year. I had a lot of weight to lose, and at that time, the reason why I went on that keto journey is because I was overweight by over 60 pounds. So that was the goal at that time. And then I stopped keto. But during that time, I was doing a lot of research. There was a lot going on, all the benefits. And the benefits were they did help, and I did lose the weight I needed to, and then some. So because I had hit my goal weight and was feeling good, I stopped the keto diet and for about a year. And then within that year that I stopped, I did gain about 10 to 12 pounds. So that wasn't really a factor for me. What was really bothering me was I started feeling really bad again. And I've always dealt with chronic pain and migraines and other issues. But those were coming back. And then that's when I started doing research again on chronic pain and dieting, or I should say, what is the best diet for chronic pain? And that's when carnivore started coming up over and over. So I decided to give it a try. In August of 2022, I started back on keto. And then about a month later, I jumped into a more strict form, which they call the carnivore diet. There are many different forms of carnivore, and you can really get dogmatic about it, but to me, I was doing carnivore, which was 0 carb. I was still having coffee and things like that, but again, the reason why I ventured into it was because of pain and my health issues. So one of the things I dealt with, and I've dealt with for many years, is IBS. I've had IBS for so long, and it's uncomfortable. I've gone to the gastro for it. I've had colonoscopies, you name it, different medications. I even took laxatives or Miralax to try and help with it. It was just ongoing. And I would take all that all the time to help with constipation, just irritability with my stomach. But, in the back of our minds, we know we can't be on this stuff forever. We know it's not good for us, but I did not know any other way to either be on a medication for it or do, over the counter stuff. But nonetheless, the over the counter did help, and that's what I was doing. But, as soon as you stop, all the symptoms come back. So that was one of my issues. And the keto diet, once I started doing it, I had relief immediately. Well, the relief I had immediately was I did go through diarrhea. My body was going through the adaptation phase, getting used to my new way of eating. But towards the end, I started feeling so much better. And to this day, I continue to feel better. I have no problems with that any longer. I haven't taken over the counter, medication for it or Miralax for it since I started, and that was back in August. It feels good to know that a natural way of eating, healthier way of eating, has helped me along the way. And number 2 that keto diet has helped me with is just different mental things, clarity, focus. It's helped with depression that I've dealt with here and there. It's helped with that. And for a long time, on and off, I would take stuff for depression and mood because I feel like it escalated due to chronic pain, when you don't feel good, you don't feel good all the way around. And so I would take stuff on and off for that. So my mood since starting this time around has been so much better. I always feel relaxed. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I don't have bad days, because I am human. I do have bad days, but I am talking the chronic feeling of just feeling like I don't want to get out of bed because I feel bad because of my pain. Or so my focus is where just it needs to be. I am focused for work. I am focused anytime I'm reading something or doing something. I feel focused. I don't feel like I'm in this brain fog that I've been feeling for a while. And I know somebody mentioned before that it could be due to perimenopause, because I am in perimenopause. But if that were the case, then I would still have it. So once I changed up my diet, I feel so much better as far as that goes. And the third thing that keto has helped with is my skin. So I deal with hyperpigmentation. I was dealing with a lot of hormonal acne, just right in this area, lots of hormonal acne. And I was getting a little bit on my chest and just different things, just skin issues. Well, the keto way of eating, whether it was keto low carb or doing the carnivore way of eating, it has really helped tremendously. I don't have those issues any longer. And the weird thing is once I started keto, I want to say a couple of weeks later, it was like I was getting a zit every other few days. One would go away, one would pop up. One, was here, another was coming out. It was just awful. It really was. So that cleared up. And I feel like my hyperpigmentation, I, still have it. You can probably see it here, has minimized. Obviously, it's not going to go away, I don't think. It'd be nice if it would, but it has minimized quite a bit. I don't know if it's kind of faded. I'm not sure. And I don't wear tons of makeup to cover it up, because then it wouldn't look right. But anyway, so I feel like that's helped with my skin. And I recently went to the dermatologist for a skin check, and the dermatologist complimented me on my skin. She just said that I've taken good care of my skin, and I'm not sure. I mean, I don't bake in the sun. That's something I don't do. I don't avoid it. I just don't go out there and try and bake in the sun. So, and mainly because of my hyperpigmentation, I don't want it to get worse. And if you're in the sun, it will get worse. Anyway, that's a different story. But so I don't know if the diet has a lot to do with it, or who knows, but I was pretty surprised when she told me that. So that was a good thing. And the last but not least, and to me is the most important one, and the reason why I started this journey, is my chronic pain. I have dealt with migraines ever since I can remember, and I can remember about 10 years old. And back in the day, before I was diagnosed, before I was taking any medication for it, I just remember dealing with the pain, missing school, having migraines in school, having to go to the nurse, throwing up all the time because my migraines would last for like 2 days. It was awful up until, I was older and they diagnosed me with migraines. And then at that time, still, back when they didn't really know maybe what migraines were or what medications there were. And this is, again, in the 80s. And then in the 90s, I believe, late 90s is when I started taking stuff for migraines, preventative, all sorts of preventative, to try and see what worked and what obviously didn't work, weeding out what didn't work, and then of course taking something for the acute pain when I got the migraine. So I've dealt with a lot with my migraines over the years. Basically, before this journey, I was getting headaches, I'd say up to 10, worst case 12, 14 a month. So if I only have 2 or 3 a month, I will take that. I've just gone through so much pain and agony with migraines. It's terrible. And the other is chronic hip and back pain. So when I had my children, I started with my chronic back, especially after I had my second child. She was my heaviest. She was almost 9 pounds, and I'm only 5'4". So she was pretty heavy. And the whole time I was just having that back pain, that back pain. Well, after I had my first child, the pain went away. After I had her, it never went away. So after I had my third child, it was still there, and it would go away and come back and go away and come back. But it was, the time frames were getting closer and closer to where it finally just never went away. I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, with arthritis, with osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, you name it. With that, just different types of medication for inflammation, over-the-counter ibuprofen, over-the-counter Aleve, prescribed 800 milligram ibuprofen, just so many meds. I'm sure you've been there. I've been there. Well, now within the past several years, the pain has migrated to my hips, more to the right, to where I couldn't sleep at night. I had to sleep on one side. I had to do so many stretches and yoga stretches and heating pads and ice pads. The story goes on. But anyway, so now after this way of eating, it has calmed down so much. I would give it about a 7, and now it has gone down to like a 2 or a 3. And again, my pains have not gone away. Migraine, hip pain, back pain, they have not gone away. That would be such a prayer answered if they went away, but they have gone down and minimized so much that I am grateful for that. So I will take what I have, and if eventually it does get better or go away, that would be the dream. I will link my last video here. Please go watch that.